Hey figure fans, Gil the Gilness here for 3 for 10 Toys, and today we are going to look at Kenner's Swamp Thing line from 1990. But before we get started there, I would like to ask a favor. If you all wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, I'm hoping that you'll show us some support and also maybe throw us a like or a comment and maybe spread the word a little bit to your friends and other fellow collectors. We'd greatly appreciate that. Now, getting back to the business at hand, back to Kenner's Swamp Thing. As you can see here right in front of you, we have most of the line. I just got most of these in because I got bit by the Swamp Thing bug. I don't know if there's some pun or something in there. Swamp bugs, who knows. But yeah, I kind of fell in love with these figures. I used to have the snare arm Swamp Thing growing up. It was the only one that I had because I felt he was like the best representation of Swamp Thing at the time. Like, it was kind of a little bit along the lines of a Kenner Superpowers figure, right? Maybe not so much the scale, but the articulation and the action, which is a snare arm. There you go. You pull that out, and then you squeeze his legs, just like you would a Superpowers figure, and that snaps right back in there. He had other accessories. All these had other accessories, but these are just loose, basic figures. So this is my favorite one out of all of them, and it is the snare arm Swamp Thing. Moving on, that's snare arm from Series 1. This is also from Series 1, BioGlow Swamp Thing. So of course it's a glow-in-the-dark Swamp Thing. I don't know if he even still works. I haven't tried him, but of course he would do what every glow-in-the-dark figure would do, and that's glow. And he also has a very superpower-ish action here. Squeeze the legs and he punches. Again, came with other accessories. I don't have them here because this is just a figure collection, not accessories collection, or a complete collection, I should say. This one here is the Snap Up Swamp Thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, I also had him as a kid growing up. So this is an interesting one. Ready? So you pull his leg. Don't pull my leg. Pull his leg, and he kind of falls apart, so to speak, or he's supposed to kind of fall apart into a pile of Swamp Thing limbs and stuff. Okay? Kind of like that. So yeah, it's just a big bunch of swamp, right? It's not really a guy. We can walk by this with no problem and not disturb anybody, and then all of a sudden, boom, you hit the button on the back and he's, surprise, Swamp Thing. There he is. You gotta, of course he doesn't pop in 100%. You have to kind of fiddle with him to get him back to square one here. But it does work. After all these years, 1990, so that's what, 36 years now? 2026 as I'm filming this. The action still works. A pretty complicated action. You'd think like maybe things would let go on the inside, break or snap, but he still works. That's Snap Up Swamp Thing. And again, Series 1 was 1990. Let's see, what else was Series 1? We've got this one here. This is the Camouflage Swamp Thing. So he came with an accessory. This, again, is just the figure itself, but he's cool, right? Because you can kind of see through him if you look really, really close here. See that? He's almost like a tree. A tree with holes. So no actions on this guy, but he has some basic articulation. Now, this is the main bad guy here, I believe. Anton Arcane, Dr. Arcane. These guys, all the villains, were called Unmen. And they came with like rubbery helmets or masks or what have you that fit over their heads that supposedly turn them into even more of a monster than they already are. Kind of a cool feature, but I prefer just a regular action figure. And that's why these are just loose and incomplete. So there we go. This is Anton Arcane. Next up, we've got Weed Killer. And I don't think he's killing the weed that you might be thinking of. I think it's actual weeds. But there you are. He came in a lot of accessories too. But this is just, again, representation of the line. So you get a good look at what these figures were all about. This is Dr. Demo. Very cool figure. So he's kind of got a almost like a tattoo thing or weird, I don't know, you call it like a burn or something all over his skin, scales almost. He's like a voodoo doctor. Definitely one of the cooler figures with the top hat. Kenner really did a nice job with these. Now you got this guy here. This is Skin Man. I don't know why. They call him Skin Man, but he's got skin. He's kind of a golem looking character. Ooh, maybe not so much skin on the back here. He's kind of skin and bones. Even there too, you can see the ribs. So he's kind of down to the skin, right? No muscle. That's Skin Man. He's kind of a small figure compared to the others. Usual 5 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of articulation. Now, there were vehicles and accessories that came out with Series 1. There was the Bayou Blaster. There was the Bog Rover, the Marsh Buggy, the Swamp Trap, which is a really cool playset, and then there was the Transducer. Now, there's one figure that you may not know about, even if you know the Swamp Thing line, and that's the figure that came with the Transducer. This one right here. So, the Transducer, if you think of it kind of like the Remco Monsterizer, you put your normal guy figure in there and you kind of hit the buttons or turn the dial or whatever have you, and you turn him into a monster. Or in this case, kind of a praying mantis bug-like creature. You can see he's got some decoration here as if he were previously a war guy, army guy, swamp guy. But anyway, a regular human character turned into now praying mantis. So this came with the Transducer. So if you don't know, you don't know, but you might think you have a full set of figures and then, missing this one. So be on the lookout for that if you're looking to put together a set of figures. All right, so then there's Series 2 that came out in 1991. Series 2 has only 2 figures, and they're repaints. There it is. This is Capture Swamp Thing. So it is a repaint of the snare arm. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a darker version of Swamp Thing, but it's the same idea. You pull out the snare arm and then it snaps right back in when you squeeze the legs. This one's not quite as tight as the other one was, but it is the same idea. Exactly the same figure, just repainted. And then we've got Climbing Swamp Thing. This is just a straight repaint of the Series 1 character. Again, kind of cool, a little bit darker. So that's Series 2. Not much to Series 2, no vehicles, no accessories, and that's where the line ended. But a great line. Really awesome figures. Nice to see Swamp Thing, which was a favorite movie of mine growing up in the 80s. I never really got into the comic books, but that's where it all comes from, the comic books, to the movie, to the cartoon, which, by the way, this line is based off of the cartoon from the 90s. Go out there and check that out. And then there's, oh boy, there's a couple of movies. There's a miniseries that was out. So Swamp Thing has quite the representation out there in all forms of media if you want to really get into it. But for me, the original movies are my favorites, and for some reason, these figures are just really cool. I'm missing two. There are two figures that I'm missing. The two human figures that came in Series 1. And those are Bayou Jack and Tomahawk. So I do not have those just yet. So I'm looking for a loose, doesn't have to be complete, just loose versions of those figures, and that'll do it. But these are the coolest figures. Who wants just a regular old human figure? Maybe you do, but this is where it's at for me. Swamp Thing and the Unmen. My collection is complete, but as a full completist, and it'll bother me if I don't have the other two, I will eventually get the two boring humans. So there you have it. Swamp Thing, Kenner, 1990 Series 1, 1991 Series 2. If you like them, I'm sure you can find them at toy shows and on eBay and Marketplace and all around the good old interwebs. So thanks for watching today. Much appreciated, folks. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, leave a comment, share, subscribe for alerts. We greatly appreciate all that help, and we'll see you next time.